At the end of 2021, I was diagnosed with cervical adenocarcinoma, and it is now 7 months later, and I just recently got the test back that says there is no evidence. Gone. They wanted me to have a hysterectomy, which I at first was like all in on. I was like, Kate, let's get it out. Let's do this sooner than later. But luckily the doctor didn't call back right away to reschedule it. So I had some time to let the thoughts sink in. And that's probably what I would tell anyone is before you make any decisions, go ride the emotions of it, get to maybe a place where you're a little more settled in what's happening. Don't make a decision based on emotion, maybe make the decision based on data. And so I want to share with you all the things that I did, because there were a lot of things. First, my friend Chris Wark, which you should go check out his channel and his book, it's called Chris Beat Cancer. On a call with him, he said to me, if you're willing to change your life, you can heal this naturally. And at the time, I thought I couldn't. I didn't know that I could change my lifestyle. It seemed overwhelming. It seemed like too much. I didn't know if that meant that I had to become a vegetarian, and I don't know. It seemed overwhelming to me, and also all the information that I was kind of feeling inundated with at the time just seemed like too much. But after some time and just research, which I was very compelled to do, that was probably one of the ways that I coped, was by inundating myself with a lot of research. And of course, there were very helpful people online that were so incredible to give me advice and share what they've done or what had been working for them. But I'm going to share with you a list of the things that I did. And I'll even walk around my house and show you some of the stuff that we've done and that we've changed in our house since then. Even though the doctors were telling me that I needed to have a hysterectomy, there was a part of me that wondered if that would be me giving up too easily. And I'm not saying that if a doctor says to you that you should go have some surgery or some treatment, that not to do what they say, do what is right for you. But there was just this voice inside me that said, what if there's another way? And so I thought about, how did the cancer form? Obviously, I created an environment in my body for it to form. When I was diagnosed, the doctors, of course, they're kind, and they say it's not your fault, there's nothing you could have done. And sure, it's not my fault, but it is my responsibility. If my body created this, my body can also heal it. When you think of how is a hurricane formed? Under the perfect condition. How is cancer healed? Under the perfect conditions. So I was if my body was an environment to create this hurricane, this storm, can I just create an environment for it to heal? For a long time, I was in a fog because I was how could this happen to me? Me, I'm only 31 years old and I'm healthy. It made me start to ask the question, what would I have to do to create cancer? If you kind of reverse engineer what you'd have to do to create what you don't want, and then do the opposite, that was kind of a good place for me to start. And I was well, how would I create cancer? Well, I guess I would eat garbage. I'd probably fill up with a lot of chemicals. I'd probably not sleep, just everything that I could think of that was unhealthy. Now, how can I reverse engineer that and sprint towards healing? One of the things Chris Wark talks about is going all in for 6 months, a year, whatever time it takes for you to heal what has accumulated over time. And who knows how long we've been accumulating the toxins and whatever's being built up in our bodies. One of the first things that I did was I worked with a functional medicine doctor. And before this, I didn't know anything about functional medicine doctor. I was you go to your doctor, conventional treatment, this is all I knew. But it was actually someone that reached out to me and just encouraged me, suggested this, said, hey, why don't you look into this? Do full blood testing, hair testing, urine testing. It will give you actual real data. The doctor that I work with, her name is Dr. Kelly Shockley. I'll link her information below. She was so incredible. She is incredible. I talk to her every day. What kind of doctor spends the time to talk to you every day? I will shout her name from the rooftops to anyone who will hear it. If you have something going on or just want to optimize, she often works with a lot of entrepreneurs to get them to that state of, optimization to live their best life. So with Kelly Shockley, we did extensive blood panels, which included cancer panels. So I could see these cancer markers that showed that, I was out of range, but I wasn't in like red, high risk, critical, like pump the brakes. I was in the yellow, that, okay, this is an area that we need to work on. But then it also showed me a full body picture of what's going on with every organ in my body, not just my cervix. It showed me what's going on in my brain. I had a lot of heavy metals built up. Like if I have heavy metals built up in my body, that's affecting my brain, affecting my, like everything. Does that maybe paint a picture of why cancer could be formed? Because if your immune system is working to fight the heavy metals instead of cancer, what just happens if we remove that and create an environment for healing? So we did blood tests, we did hair tests, we did urine tests. There was this really interesting one where I actually collected my urine over 6 hours and then did it again the next day after taking a bunch of pills called, it's a DMSA therapy, which I'll talk to you about more in a minute, to see how much am I actually detoxing, how much am I flushing from my body, and from that being able to see what kind of heavy metals are built up in my body and what systems aren't optimized for me to be able to detox. So with that testing, then what Dr. Kelly Shockley did is she gave me a customized protocol of what kind of food should I be eating, how frequently, like what is my body built for, and supplements that I take every single day. And now that I've been working with her for, I think it's been about 6 months, we then did a whole retest again, and I was able to remove some of the supplements because we'd built them up to a good place and take on some different ones based on how my body is changing. So that was like amazing for me to feel safe, to feel comfortable in what I was doing, because again, I at the beginning was like, I'm gonna go in, I have to have this surgery. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do what the doctors tell me to do. And I appreciated that Dr. Kelly said something to me early on, just saying like, hey, how about we look at the data before we take out any body parts? Can we just do that? And I love that she wasn't pressuring at all. She, met me where I was at and she was like, if you want to have the surgery, I will support you through that. And when I got the numbers back and it painted a full body picture for me, it allowed me to make decisions based on data, not out of fear. Because then I could see where the cancer markers were at. I could see where all of the other toxicities and imbalances and other organs that were, just not optimized, how that was creating an environment for cancer to grow. And so if I can heal these things, can my body heal the cancer? It's like if you are riding your bike and you scrape your knee, what happens? It heals. It creates the scab, the skin heals. Your body is going to work to heal bones or heal cuts, like no matter what happens. So if I have cancer, can I see this as a healing mechanism? Can I see this as a sign for what I need to work on to optimize next? So I've been taking these supplements every day, and it's actually quite a lot. Like it's a big handful. I take those every day. And then I also pair that with, better nutrition. And this was mind-blowing to me. The stuff that's just in our regular everyday food that I had no idea was unhealthy. I had no idea the stuff that's just like hidden in our regular everyday products. Like, like salad dressing, canola oil, canola, do not eat canola, no, avocado oil or olive oil instead. There's actually some really cool apps that I can show you in a future video on how to know if the food that you're eating is good or what's in it that you want to avoid. Because I never would have known the stuff that we should be avoiding in our food. What I eat now is mostly ketogenic, and I've actually found some great meal delivery services too, if people out there want an easier option, that are healthy and approved by my standards now, knowing what I know. And it's crazy, like you can't unknow this stuff now. One of the other huge eye-openers for me was our water source. I cannot believe what is in our water. It's offensive. It's infuriating. So there's a site that you can go to, ewg.org, and you can put in your zip code to see what the water is like where you are, just your regular tap water. It's a full tap water database. When I put in my zip code, it was like hundreds of times the healthy limit of chemicals in our body. Like there's arsenic in my water. There is chloroform in my water and numerous others in our tap water. Legal doesn't mean safe. That was just shocking to me that we are drinking this water every day that is building up these toxins in our bodies. Get a water filter. I use a Berkey water filter. I love it. I have one for the house. I'm gonna get one for the office. I'm gonna buy one for my parents for when I go to visit them, and just that they should be drinking better water. Really important to make sure. And there's testing kits where you can actually test your water to see, you know, if you think that your water is good, you can test to make sure, get that data. Once I learned about what was in our water, it opened my eyes to what else is around me that I'm consuming every single day, in my food, in my water, wait a minute, in my cleaning supplies, in my makeup. And so there's some really great sites that I've found for cleaning supplies that are natural, that are healthy. I will link them below. And also makeup, especially for women, like we're putting stuff on our bodies every single day. And I'll tell you, I'm not perfect. I have not found the perfect solutions for everything, but I have found some good solutions for a lot of the things that I was using day to day. There's a site as well, EWG.org also has a database for household products and beauty products, and you can see their score. You can see if they're EWG verified. However, disclaimer, I'm not always sure how accurate those are because it seems like you can also pay to play there. I don't know what's right or wrong, but you can look there to be able to see like what is healthy, what's approved, what are all the chemicals in it, so you can decide from there what you might want to adjust for you. So even like I went to that site because dry shampoo was a product that I used often. So I searched the dry shampoo that I was using at the time, and of course it was full of chemicals. And so I found a different dry shampoo through EWG.org to replace. And again, I'm not perfect. There are certainly things that I am still using because I haven't found the alternative, but I'm changing and optimizing as much as I can as I go, because it's a lot. I am always looking to improve what I have, still trying to live a normal life with this rabbit hole that we have now uncovered. I also got off of birth control. Now this could be a whole separate video, which I probably will make, was getting off birth control. And I also became just a little infuriated after finding out what I believed that wasn't true about birth control. Like, you know, I've heard doctors say that birth control is the only way that you can regulate hormones, female hormones, and it's the best way to keep you safe from getting pregnant, and that you don't even need to have a period. Like, I have had doctors tell me menstrual suppression, you know, you don't need to have a period. That's yucky. Just stay on birth control all the time and you never need to have a period. Are you kidding me? Ladies, what I did not know that I know now is that your period, your menstrual cycle is your 5th vital sign. Ugh. Birth control shuts off the communication between your ovaries and your brain. It is there for a reason. We have periods, we have menstrual cycles for a reason. There's a really incredible book called In the Flow by Alicia Vitti. This book was like the stuff that we did not learn in sex ed when we were growing up. Here's what sex ed was for me when I was growing up. Boys have a penis, girls have a vagina. Ladies, you're gonna hate your life 1 week out of every month because you're gonna bleed, and don't get pregnant. The stuff in this book is the stuff that we should have learned in sex ed class. It's the stuff that our mothers didn't know, so they couldn't teach us. Have you considered that the phases of the menstrual cycle are like the seasons? Like, have you ever considered that your menstrual cycle, each week of the menstrual cycle, there are 4, are like the 4 seasons. Your menstrual week is like winter. You kind of want to like hibernate, right? Take care of yourself, go a little internal, isolate. Makes sense, right? Because we're changing. The follicular phase is like spring. In this phase, it's like the period is over, you're free, you get to be a little more playful and get out there a little bit more. Your skin is usually clearer in this phase. The ovulatory phase is like summer. Think about it, you know, you're a little bit in heat. You're ready to go out and get like social with people. And then the luteal phase is like your autumn. It's like you're kind of starting to prepare for hibernation, your menstruation, your menstrual week. So think about this. If women knew how to operate their lives based on their cycles, don't you think that we could like totally own that superpower instead of, you know, most of us just operate off the circadian rhythm because it was made by men? So after I got off birth control, it was definitely, I'll be honest, it was like a silent terror in my body going on, trying to regulate my hormones again. It was emotional. It was hard. And, you know, having good nutrition and good sleep definitely helped with that. doing everything else that I was doing to detox. I would sit in the sauna quite often. Detoxing can be done through the DMSA therapy. That was the pill that helped to, flush. It's like a chelating. I might get that word wrong, but it helps to flush the toxins from your body. But also sitting in the sauna or exercising, anything you can do to sweat the toxins out of your pores is also really good. I also did high vitamin C IV therapy. There's lots of like IV clinics, or there's some mobile ones that will come to your house. That was kind of nice. And so high vitamin C IV, what that does is vitamin C isn't naturally generated by the body, so you have to supplement it or ingest it in some way. So vitamin C generates hydrogen peroxide, which helps to kill the cancer cells. I would also sit on our PEMF machine every day, sitting right there. Very relaxing, and what it does is it like pushes electromagnetic frequencies into your body to help redirect where energy should be flowing in your body. I don't understand the technical way of explaining it, but it's amazing, and you can just like feel just really good. The other thing that is incredibly healing and that some people kind of like give you the side eye about is fasting. Yeah. Water fasting. Do not eat. Some people can do dry fasting, which for me, well, that just sounds really tough. But the longest fast I've done is a 5-day water fast. 5 days, no food, nothing, just water. And what it does is when your body is fasting, like when you're not eating, what happens when your body's fasting is instead of your body like eating the food, is it goes into something called autophagy. I don't know how they pronounce it, where your body starts eating away at like the junk. It goes from being like, it like turns into a garbage disposal, like an incinerator, like eating all the bad stuff in your body. So think about like the damaged cells or the sick cells or the cancer cells. Like there are people that will actually go away to fasting centers, like for retreats, where I was even talking to a friend that he did a very long-term fast, like it was a few weeks, and his tumor shrunk like a huge percentage. I'll link his channel, is Beat Cancer with Owen. I don't remember how long his fast was, but he said that his tumor shrunk like 25% after doing a fast for like, maybe it was like 21 days or something like that. It is absolutely incredible. And even to do like, there's different kinds of fasts that you can do. Like intermittent fasting at the very least would be really good for people to start with, meaning like maybe a 16-8. Like you don't eat for 16 hours, you eat everything within an 8-hour window. You can also do alternate day fasting. So like one day you eat, one day you don't. Maybe you do a 48-hour, maybe you do a 36-hour, maybe you try for like 3 days, 5 days. Again, the most I've ever done is 5 days. I like doing a 3-day fast, and also alternate day fasting. I was really enjoying that too. Whatever works for you, try. It's definitely, it takes some willpower. There's a really good app that I like to use called Zero that tracks your fasting. It'll even tell you what stage you're in. Like it'll be like, hey, you're in ketosis now. Now you're in autophagy. It is really beneficial, and you'll feel the difference. You'll feel the clarity. For me, I think it was like day 3 seems to be the hardest, but then once you get past that, it actually kind of got easier. Like at the end of the 5 days, I was kind of just like craving food more than I was hungry. And I also just felt really empowered knowing that I could do it. And then when I started doing like 2 or 3 day fasts, it was like, well, I've already done 5. If I can do that, I can do this. It was a really cool test of willpower, and then also cool to see how you feel so much better when it's over. And lastly, I did a lot of just interpersonal work. I have a coach that I have calls with once or twice a week that helped me with a lot of emotional healing, because I also think that your body will physically manifest what you're working through emotionally, whether that's childhood trauma or holding on to stress, resentment. Right now, we work through that, and I've also done several ayahuasca ceremonies, which gave me the opportunity to connect deeply with myself and heal. So that's kind of like a quick rundown of everything that I did. There's probably more that I forgot. There's probably more that I could go deeper into, and I'd love to share more. If there's anything specific that you'd like me to make videos about sharing my experience, I would love to. Just let me know in the comments below. If you can subscribe, like, comment, share this video, I'd love to be able to help more people to get this message, because when I was newly diagnosed and looking for answers, I couldn't find anyone that had the exact type of cancer that I have. I don't really know. There's still a benign area, even though there's no no evidence of the cancerous cells. But I don't look at it like it's a finish line. And this is a lifestyle change, and I can't unknow what I know. So I'm gonna keep learning. And there's a lot of things that I learned, a lot of therapies that I learned about that I didn't pursue yet, because there's just so much that I did. So I'd love to share more of that. Like I did, there's a therapy called like Hocket with an insufflation tube where they put like ozone into specific areas of your body. Like for me, because it's cervical, they would have put it in my woohoo and pumped ozone there, which sounded really fascinating. But I guess one of the things that I would have just said to me 6 months ago would be to overdose on nutrition and do the testing, like blood tests, hair tests, urine tests, to get the data, advocate for your own health, and make decisions out of empowerment and not out of fear. Make a decision from you, even if there are family members who of course have your best interest and are concerned for you and are encouraging you to go a certain way. I do have friends that had a similar situation as me, and they took a different treatment path, and to each their own. Everyone has to go their own way, has to do what feels right for them. And I just wish that I had this information, and I did. I found it eventually. If there's any way that I can like share this information to get it to someone faster, I'd love to help.